Greetings and felicitations.
Okay, here comes the first round.
Boom. And
Jeez, that was just
Boom.
unnecessary.
You kidding me? You can't be out of range? What?
Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. Jarl of the Appian Way here, and I've got a big question for you all. Have I been wrong all along? Do I not know what I'm talking about? Let's get into this. Let me get into what I'm talking about here. This is Game 4, Battle 4 of the finals in the Iliad tournament between Air Runner and Johnny Rico. And in this battle, we saw archers versus slingers. Now, before I get into this breakdown and talk about the armies and what they've brought and what's going to happen here, I want to tell you about some generalizations. Generally speaking, in Troy multiplayer, melee is king to skirmishers. Very different from Warhammer, where skirmishing is absolutely the way to go. In Troy, the melee power you bring matters more than the skirmishing power you bring. Second generalization. Generally speaking, slingers trump archers. Why? Well, slingers can carry a shield, which has a 35% missile block chance, and their range is superior. Archers tend to be unarmored and cannot carry a shield. So when they start shooting each other, the slingers pretty much eviscerate archers. Those are the generalizations here. Now let's go into the battle, because there's some interesting things that are going to happen here. So Johnny Rico is playing as Hector of Troy. He's brought an army I've seen him use before. A pair of militia warband, a spear fighter, 3 archers, low tier, tier 1 archers, and 1 renowned archer, the next level up, medium infantry. He's also brought a pair of Cordofantes, a pair of champions of Troy, 1 guard of Troy, and a Hector's Chosen for a really strong melee core that Paris is hard to answer. Air Runner is playing as Paris. Now, he's got an archer skirmisher hero who's already earned himself 11 kills with 3 arrows. That's how good archer skirmisher heroes are. And then he's got a pair of exemplary Trojan slingers and renowned Trojan slingers. These guys, the exemplaries, are the top tier slinger in the game. There are none like them, few better. I think Salamis has an elite unit that is maybe 1 step above these exemplary Trojan slingers, and then their 1 tier down buddies, the renowned Trojan slingers. This is actually a pretty significant investment in skirmishing cost. The exemplary Trojan slingers are 880 funds, and the renowned Trojan slingers are, I want to say, between 600 and 700. So this is like almost 2,000-ish points worth of slingers. The rest of Air Runner's army are 3 Phrygian warriors, a line of shielded spear warriors, which at the time of the tournament, I thought that was a mistake. Being reliant on medium shield and spears is very tough to do. Then he's brought a pair of heavy Trojan spearmen and 1 champion of Troy. Now, let's see how this plays out. Now, first things first, the slingers have the range advantage on the archers, so Rico is going to support the advancement of his archers by throwing up his more expendable units. Militia Warband, they're great for eating up slings because they have shields. You don't care what happens to them. They might as well be expendable, but they're not. And the Spear Fighters, again, that's a very cheap unit. All he really needs these 3 units to do is to put pressure here and give his archers a chance to open fire. Even still, the exemplaries and the renowned are just going to go ahead and immediately, first volley, 2 volleys, they've brought that archer down to a 3rd health. And Rico has to push immediately with the militia warband. Air Runner is going to support his slingers by moving up his Phrygian warriors, which forces Rico to fall back. He knows that these guys cannot engage these units in a fair fight. But he's doing everything he can to tag these renowned Trojan slingers and these exemplary Trojan slingers into melee. But because of this little push right here, he's had the time to actually regroup this archer. He's already brought this exemplary Trojan slinger down to about 1/3 of its health, while these guys have gotten their targeting priorities mixed up. They went after the militia warband. I think what happened there was Air Runner did a click drag select while the Phrygian warriors were over top the exemplary Trojan slingers and ordered them to attack that militia warband when they need to be targeting these archers. Even still, this renowned Trojan archer has brought this renowned archer down to about 1/3 health. And but one of the exemplary Trojan slingers is routing now. Now, the rest of the melee units are starting to get engaged. Shielded Spear Warrior up here with shields on their back. They're charging in, trying to do something with these Spear Fighters. Militia Warband. He brought back one of his Phrygian Warriors. He's still chasing out this Militia Warband, but a Coravantes is in the neighborhood. Going to go ahead and make life miserable. And because the push is already here, the Slingers are in trouble. This one's already hurt. This one's caught. This one's routing. And the archers are still free to do as they please. Why? Because Rico has the melee initiative here. Not because archers are better than slingers, but because they've been able to get in position and cause absolute havoc down the line. I have to say, even with the very interesting results of this battle, and even though we're going to see 2 triple-digit performances out of some of these really cheap archers, I still have to say that melee trumps skirmishing power. And I know there's people out there who really enjoy bringing more than 2 skirmishers. I think if you're going to bring any, you need to only bring 1 or 2. And I agree with Rico that the cheaper skirmishers tend to be the better picks because you get more value out of them, and when you lose them, you don't lose as much, and you're able to spend more money on what's going to win you the battles, which are going to be the infantry. Well, but Appius, what are you talking about? They got triple-digit kills. Clearly, they did win the battle. No, I don't necessarily think so. I think what ended up happening here was that the units like Cordovantes got to go toe-to-toe with Phrygian warriors and shielded spear warriors at the same time and just eat face. Champions got to run right over heavy Trojan spearmen. Guards of Troy got to hold up this Champions of Troy, while other units just got to plow on in here and tear things apart. Paris lost this battle. Airrunner loses this battle, not because exemplary Trojan slingers are worse than archers, but because he spent so much on his skirmishing corps that he wasn't able to bring enough melee power to defeat his opponent. And also, frankly, there are so few options that Paris can bring to counter a Cordovantes, to counter a Hector's Chosen. What can Paris do other than bring an archer skirmisher hero and try and get as many kills as possible with his arrows? Already up to 48 kills, by the way, with 33 ammo remaining, 51 kills now. And you can just kind of see there are some key engagements that do go in Paris' favor, like this Champion of Troy he was able to eliminate. But this Cordovantes, he was still only able to bring it down to half health before his Phrygian warriors just got obliterated by Hector's Chosen. And here comes Champions of Troy to help him turn that around. In the meantime, yeah, the Slingers are still here. They're still earning some kills themselves. 54 kills. They've almost earned their value. But it's not going to be enough ultimately. Now, I do want this to be discussion. I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts about skirmishing in this game. Troy is very different from Warhammer in that Warhammer you can get away with having full skirmish armies and do really well, especially in campaign. In Troy, that is not the case. You need to bring the infantry power if you're going to win. Even this Champion of Troy here, tied up with a heavy Trojan spearman, it's going to do really well in the long run because of the quality of troops and because there's more troops around. Rico was able to spend less money on skirmishers and bring more skirmish units and still manage to overwhelm air runners' Paris position. And again, Paris doesn't have a lot of options to counter things like Hector's Chosen and Cordovantes. Chariots maybe, but when you're playing on the Mudlands, that's a hard pick. And I have to say, Air Runner made some big mistakes in this battle. He knew the map was Mudlands, and he chose to play as Paris. One of the things Paris relies on are his chariots. In order to be successful, those heavy Trojan chariots are a very important tool. Mudlands, they make that kind of play very difficult. You can pull off chariots on this map. There are ways to hide them in little nooks and crannies. But in order to be successful with chariots on the Mudlands, you need your opponents to make maneuvering errors against you. And both of these guys are too good to make maneuvering errors. It's a very fascinating matchup, and I am very intrigued by the fact that this archer here manages 108, 109 kills in this battle. It's absurd to me. This renowned archer is also going to make over 100 kills. But the true MVPs of this battle are the Cordovantes. 150 kills on this one, and the other one, he's coming back to the battle with 220 kills. And yeah. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think skirmishers deserve much more credit? Do you think this is proof that archers can win battles? Because I don't see this as the archers having won this battle. I see this as the archers taking advantage of the fact that the melee was winning all of the other engagements. The archers were able to sit back and shoot for a long time, which is what gave them all of these kills. That's what I see. That's my interpretation of events. You're free to disagree with me. But, man, oh man, oh man. It was still a fascinating matchup to watch those slingers lose to archers. But it wasn't just the archers they lost to. It was also because Air Runner had the melee initiative and the power and the wherewithal to advance and make the attack. Let's look at some of the statistics. So, a bunch of double-digit performances from Air Runner's Paris of Troy. His best performing unit was his Archer Skirmisher hero. But even still, you can tell the medium shielded spear warriors completely outclassed by Hector of Troy. The heavy Trojan spearmen, they did okay, but they were also outclassed by Hector of Troy. Phrygian warriors fighting to the bitter end in most instances here. And then the slingers, unfortunate double-digit performances, but the real champions here are the Cordovantes. Rico bringing two of them again on the Mudlands. What are you going to do as Paris against a pair of Cordovantes and a Hector's Chosen? Never mind that he also brought two champions of Troy, a guard of Troy, and then he brought some chaff of his own to make the skirmishing battle a little bit easier for him. And then I'm astonished. 113, 91, 109 kills for archers. Those are numbers you just don't see ever. Anyway, this is a very fascinating battle, and this was the turning point, I feel, in the finals, because Air Runner needed this win. If he had won this, whole thing would have been over. It was a must-win game for Rico, and then it put him into Battle 5, which Rico ended up winning. So, fantastic tournament, fantastic play from both players. I'm very interested in reading your comments and talking to you all about this, alright? So anyway, ta-ta, I love you all, and I'll see you guys in my next video.